And good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whatever it is where you are. We are the Historical Commission, and today's date, October 11, 2016. We're pleased to be with you, or pleased to be with each other. And we will open up with minutes of the September meeting. Since Michael was off in Maine enjoying himself, I did the minutes, and you'll note that they are pretty tight. So if you have pursued them, and I'm waiting for a motion to accept or correction or whatever.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from September 13th.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any corrections, additions, deletions, funny stories? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I can vote on this, right? Even though I wasn't here? I read the minutes?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We got three. We're good. We're
Okay,
happy.
all right.
That'll work. Financial update. Do we have any news?
I did not, sorry.
All right.
I was excited about the map.
Exciting. Yes. I've got to put the map here. Map. Okay, let me bring you up to date on demo of 2 West Main Street. It is scheduled, it's just weeks away. I haven't gotten anything definitive, but I have seen the memos, and I think I CC'd you all, and talked to the highway department recently, so we're all moving in the same direction. Obviously, they've got some really nice weather to work around, so if they can get this done before ugliness sets in, then good for them. But it will kind of push us to get our little signage ready, so we need to think about getting that over with. Somebody agreed to help me with that, and I don't know who it was.
Mr. Van Visha.
No. It's Chuck or Chris, so it must have been Chuck.
So is that somebody show?
But we'll come up with our plan. We've got.
Must have been Butch.
Yeah, there we're gonna blame it on Butch. We've got the picture we want to use. We just need to have a little narrative to go with it.
And this is going to be on stone, like
It'll
the monuments?
it'll be like the monument up on Dudley Hill. So it's really nice. I mean, you get a real good picture on it, and then just enough narrative to tell people. You don't want a lot. They're not going to want to stand there for a long time and read it. They just want to say, "Oh, that's interesting." And Visha wanted to make sure that we included a little piece about the railway that was coming through, so that chunk is obviously pointed out to people too. So we'll do that. Coming up, historic district progress. Our involvement is pretty much complete. It will be going. Their guy had about another month's worth of work to do. He's doing mostly history background, and then it will be in Boston for a number of months while they vet everything. And I don't know. I'm just hoping, it moves along fairly easily. But fairly easily still means 6-7 months out before it gets completed.
I hope not.
Yeah, you're not planning on being here?
No,
We're tired, I know. We want it done. But that's what it normally
we
is.
procrastinated because of the holdups and roadblocks we had for years,
And then, boom.
and now they're 180 out.
But we're moving forward, so I'm pleased, and I think it's going to really look nice. And as soon as we get some real action on that, we can start figuring out what we want to do for the signage. Where we would want signs, what kind of a sign we'd want, what the look of it would be, and then the landowners in the area can start thinking about if they want to put stuff on their homes.
Is there a budget for signs?
No, but we still have some money kicking around. So I'm not worried. And we can get money. And
Think so?
Melzer is always there.
And we have money coming from the town meeting, assuming that all the good folk who are watching this go and voted in at the town meeting. And then we have matching grants against that. So we're going to be at least in a place where we haven't been in a long time, which is, as we want to do stuff, the resources are there. So it's going to be great. All right, any other questions on the district? Good, moving on. Founders Court. I have had a chance now to show the selectmen, and there have been 2 articles in the paper on the engraving from the monument, so people now, interestingly, are coming by and taking a look at that. So if you haven't at home, go up to Dudley Hill, look on the town common, and see the engraving of the founding families on the granite memorial marker. So we're talking about 2 West Main coming down, getting the granite pieces that will form the courtyard area, and I think we're going to call it the Founders Court. And in addition to that, we'll have some signage there, of course, and explanations of what things used to look like up there. I did talk to the monument guy about a block of granite for seating, you know, for 2, I'd say 2-person wide seat, just a block, nothing on it, just nothing, and not a fancy seat or anything, a big honking block of granite. And that runs about $1,300 for one of those. So I think we could find money to, or get donations too.
Is that with a supplied granite block or one from the 2 West Main?
No, that one we would have to purchase. We'd have to, coming out of West Main is just facing pieces of granite. There are no huge blocks.
I don't think that there would be structurally sufficient to be walked on or anything, would it?
They will, they're about yay.
Are they really? Okay, as long as
Oh, I
they
think
don't
so.
they don't crack on us.
No. I think we'll be fine. And I did talk to the highway department about, you know, how we'd be removing dirt, soil, laying sand, setting these things, and then stone dusting over that. And I'll try and work with, you know, a couple of local guys that have businesses to help us out with that. Have a little community project. I don't want to dump this all in the laps of the highway department. There are more people to have fun with it. So that's where that's going. We'll have more details coming forward as soon as 2 West Main goes down. And I'm hoping we just have decent weather. We can get maybe this thing in the ground before winter, so that we can get a settle out by the spring. We'll know if everything is good. All right, let me move on to scenic roads. Charles.
Okay, so I found Scenic Roads, Massachusetts General Law, Section 15C, Chapter 40. And a quick rundown is it basically gives a planning board, conservation commission, or historical commission of any town or city the ability to suggest a road to then be voted on.
Yep.
Moving on, after a road has been designated a scenic road, any repair, maintenance, reconstruction, or paving work done with respect thereto shall not involve or include the cutting or removal of trees or tearing down or destruction of stone walls or portions thereof, except with prior written consent of the planning board. Which basically means if you need to get rid of a tree, you need to apply for a permit, and it has to be okayed by the town, and it has to be okayed by the tree ward.
Okayed by the town, does that mean selectmen?
Yes, there is, further down, it says, here, there has to be a public hearing under the provisions of this section, under section 3 of chapter 87, prior to the cutting or removal of a tree. Hearing will be consolidated into a single public hearing before the tree warden and the planning board, or if there's no planning board, the selectmen of the town, or the city council. The notice of such consolidation public hearing shall be given by the tree warden or his deputy. It goes on to saying it has to be in the newspaper and all that stuff. In general, I think it would be a good idea for some roads, possibly not for as many roads as I was thinking. I think as far as landowners and agricultural individuals, it may be a great hindrance, not being able to take down or even trim a tree that is in the way. I think another option, if we want to go down this road, is come up with our own Dudley brand of scenic road. We can call it something different so we're not confusing the two with the actual Massachusetts law, and perhaps make things a little bit more lax in certain cases. I like the idea of preserving stone walls. Trees could be, I'm a little indifferent about trees, I suppose, because really what, I grew up on a farm, what designates a tree versus a shrub or a weed that needs to be gotten rid of if it's in the way.
Maybe it would be a question maybe of circumference of the tree
Yeah,
or approximate age
I don't
or
know.
something.
Chris, you mentioned previously a vote, town meeting vote, selectmen vote?
Yeah, there needs to
Well,
be.
selectmen, the town meeting has to vote approval of the road itself, but,
Essentially, all we can do is suggest it to them.
right,
Was
Then we kind of
basically
hand it off
nominated?
and,
yes.
Nominated.
yeah.
Yeah, because we did this a few years ago, and there were at least 2 roads designated, and they were brought forward. At the time, I'm thinking Chet Calissa brought them forward, or at least stood at the town meeting in support of it. And one was Hayden Pond Road, and the other one could have been Marsh.
Yeah.
So we need to find out what those were, which is interesting. How do you access something in the last 10 or 15 years in town meetings? And do you go through Ora's office and?
There should be a written record
Yeah.
of it, correct?
Yeah, there'd be a record of it, but indexing for that kind of stuff, you know, you have to read the town warrants, which, with that, there aren't that many, even for 10 years, maybe 20 town warrants.
She's trying to get the town meeting minutes accessed on searchable disks now.
Okay.
That's her plan. I don't know how far back she's gonna go, but this is what we're gonna try and do.
Good. All right.
Obviously, you'd go scenic road,
Yeah.
go pop, you know, which would be a really great thing compared to what we got now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because we're all pretty spoiled with, okay, I'll just check on the phone. Okay, it's not on my phone. Well, the one I brought you from West Brookfield.
Yeah.
I think it cites, certainly the mass law, and then they talk about their process and whatever. And they have clearly more than, we think we have a couple, and we might get a few more nominated.
Having been on a fair amount of these roads, I would say that they're not as overgrown
Yeah.
as the potential roads in Dudley.
Yeah. There's, but as you go in certain areas, the road we just opened up in Perryville after 15 years of having been closed, which has some really nice stonework on it, and the river on the other side, would be a perfect candidate.
Well, it's certainly something that can be used to preserve a road or an area from excessive building or commercialization.
Yeah. And the involvement of the planning board is crucial in all of this, because anybody who's coming to them to build, then they would at least understand, oops, that's a scenic road. And if we had a real map that we could always give to people and say, here they are. All right, so we'll do a little more work on this. We'll check with Aura and see if we can find out the 2, or maybe there were 3, I can't remember, roads that were approved that night, and if there are any others, because I have no
Do you have
knowledge.
any idea how long ago this was?
I can check with Chet. He would tell me. He would remember this. So let me make a note to call Chet. Okay. All right. Other stuff on scenic roads? Happy? Trees. Any comments on trees?
Only God can make a tree.
Okay. There you go. We were talking about Arbor Day as a kind of a date to head for, to start doing something, but we need to have something to do to.
That was in spring. That's in springtime, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll defer this to when we have a few more bodies to chat about it, I think. All right. So Chris has brought us this really nice. Now, where did this map come from?
The Bradshaw family, and it was in their family from their grandparents, gave it to them.
Okay.
Or gave it.
And it's a map of the Tufts Mill, upper Ramshorn Road area.
Big pond.
And it's very, very faint. It's been bleached out, but we're going to see if we can take it apart, which is not going to be difficult. And is the map's being donated?
Yes.
So we need to, you need to get me the name of the people.
Yep.
So I can send them a deed.
Are these Bradshaw people Dudley people?
Yes.
Dudley family?
Yes.
And we will thank them for it and work on having it photographed. We think maybe even reduced in size if they can get us a decent way to.
Well, if they can get a photograph that will,
That we can enhance.
yeah, will be, can be reproduced, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's really.
So we'll work on it. It's a very interesting piece for us. We haven't seen that anywhere.
No, I've never seen anything like it.
So that's good. And we had just gotten two pieces from Stevens Mill that we had never seen that were in the library underneath everything, which was fun. So they were unearthed, and we've been able to get those up. And if we can add this to it, we'll actually have an industrial Dudley presentation going. Maybe we can actually come up with an exhibit, which would be really good for folks, because we're talking about places that don't exist anymore. The dye house pieces we had, and this, and there's probably other stuff. I don't know when they originally knocked down that piece of Stevens Mill 20-something years ago, maybe more. If we have a lot of documentation on that, but it might be a good chance for us to start digging around and see what we got.
And is there any photographs or etchings of this place at that time period?
It was. I think it was gone before photography even came.
Well,
into
somebody
being.
could put an etching or an engraving.
Yeah, somebody might have. I don't know if there was ever. I've never seen anything that said. You know, I mean, we've had like Dudley Hill. You know,
Yeah.
Somebody's. It's close. More or less.
There's a couple buildings.
Yeah, but no, nothing like that we know of. But then again, in Perryville, now we can go, if we're doing something like this, we've got other pieces of maybe Perryville stuff that we could use too. Chase Mills, we've got things. We could put our own little industrial Dudley exhibit together. We could. People don't think of us as having any.
There were photographs that they used in the Bicentennial magazine. I've never seen them. I don't know what happened to them. They disappeared.
Yeah.
Were they donated from private collectors?
I think
We
somebody
don't-
got them out of the library or something. That's what they look like to me, but they're gone. They're not
Yeah,
around
we haven't
anymore.
found them in our library collection,
No.
but we can put the word out. We're looking. And people may say, oh, I've got some stuff like that. The other thing, when I went to West Brookfield, they've got a very good commission going there. And they have a nice little brochure about what they do, who they are, their mission statement. You know, if somebody needs to pick it up.
There's no flies on Sturbridge either. You come into that historic district. I had no idea it was that big. From out there on the west side of
Yeah.
town and all the way east. I don't know where it stops, actually.
Yeah. The other thing that I found there was, they have a grist mill no longer active, and, you know, here they have their little picture of what it would have looked like and where it was. And they've gone in with the land trust, which is a nice little deal, cooperative agreement. And so now they have this, they have the Bay Path Trail going through there. They have a little thing about the grist mill in the community, and then a thing on beavers and the wolf trees and historical background. Nice little pieces of information that are available. They're much more tuned into a tourist area setting than we are. We don't, people come through Dudley, you figure they're just lost. You know? They're not out touring, they're just lost.
That's the blessing.
Sorry, folks.
Could I make a motion to
Yes.
see if I have the support of the commissioners,
To
make
spend
a
some money.
feasibility study to see if we can get a legible reproduction of this Bradshaw family map
Yep,
for our purposes.
okay. And whoever's gonna make the motion, you can have a toss-up on it. We should have, we could do a not-to-exceed amount that we'd be allowed to agree right off to spend, so that we don't have
Yeah.
to wait a month and come back. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay. So, we're entertaining a motion, and the motion should be worded such that, you're going to be doing the run?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay. Michael has authority to spend up to X amount of dollars to get this donated map photographed and reproduced for us to some legible degree, and we can get it reframed in another, you know, if it's shrunken. Anyway, right off, we'll just deal with,
Probably don't even want to go there right now. Let's just see if we can get it
okay,
reproduced.
all right, so,
What's a fair amount for that?
$75 would probably be more than plenty just to get a picture and then see if,
all right, why don't we be generous and say not to exceed 200, and then we don't have to worry about,
Okay.
you know, because they may say this is particularly difficult, and it looks
Yeah.
like a challenge to me.
Is there potential for damage?
I don't,
I don't particularly think so.
they're pretty good about this stuff. All right, so Chris is making a motion. You smile.
Hey, you brought the thing.
I'm making a motion to give Mike permission or authority to see if he can get a sketch reproduction under $200.
Is that enough for you?
Yeah, we'll get a picture, and then if the picture is good enough,
Okay.
just
So
make a
that's,
scan of it.
that's the motion.
Second?
Second. Any discussion? Nope. All in favor?
Aye.
You're on your own. Good. I'm
No,
excited.
no big rush on this, I'll get to it as I can.
Yeah. Tomorrow morning?
All right, let's change it. Let's
Maybe.
put a rush on it.
No, I know you, Mike. Linda, I gotta go out.
This is so long as I don't have any room for it on my wall, that's for sure. I don't know
Yeah.
what we'll do with it. But like I say, if we get a legible disc, they can make it whatever size they want,
Yep.
you know, which is really a great thing.
Okay, let me tell you, I went to the dedication of grave markers for four Revolutionary War patriots on Monday. This is the DAR, the Daughters of the American Revolution. And they had this in the Corbin Cemetery. All four veterans of the Revolutionary War were buried fairly close together. I was kind of amazed, but then again, it's so long ago, and that was the original core of the first cemetery in town anyway. It was a gorgeous day, and they had a program, very nice. They indicated the four gentlemen, Captain William Carter, son of the Carter family
Yeah.
from the Carter House on the corner.
There were 3 or 4 William Carters, it's quite,
Yep. Sergeant Mark Dodge, Surgeon's Mate John Elliott Eaton, and Lieutenant Mark Elwell. And this was done, it's the Captain Job Knapp chapter, Daughters of the American Revolution. And their regent is the person that runs the local for them, was Anne-Marie Setaye. And they had a nice little piece they did in the cemetery, went to each grave, and talked about the gentleman and what information they had on his service. And we had reenactors from Sturbridge there with the muskets, the whole bit, did the volley.
those guys are really boss,
They
they're
are, they
awesome.
were fun. And it was quite nice. And a gal from Shepherd Hill came and sang the national anthem, and there was some period costumes involved, and it was just a lovely little ceremony there, and then they had a reception back at the Black Tower. So all in all, a very nice deal. They've been doing this for other Revolutionary War graves as they can muster enough money, and the Janet Malther Trust sponsored quite a bit of this, if not all of the plaques. And so a plaque is put in for each of these graves. Now, in the past, we've had them, you know, like the Civil War monuments where there was a flag holder or something. And those were stolen because they were brass and whatever. These plaques, because I was interested in how they're going to do this, are set into a concrete block. So they'll be right into the
Kind
ground.
of like, are they like bronze?
They have the look of them, but I don't know what the metal is.
Okay.
I don't know. They look quite nice, you know, about Ye, and just the information on the birth, death, what group they were with. So I thought that was quite a lovely tribute. Not a lot of people thinking about guys that served back in the 1700s, you know, 200 and 20, 30, 40 years ago. Very nice. So next year, or if they do it next year, or within the next time they do it, I'll have to make sure I include you on a CC so you can show up and enjoy that. Okay. Any other new business coming before us? Reservation projects, I did say that we will be on the floor of the town meeting, and that is on, no clue from Brian. The town meeting's coming up soon. Do you know it? The date? Soon.
25th, I think,
Pardon me?
25th of October.
Okay, it's soon. So, we are scheduled for a $10,000 appropriation.
That's
Yeah.
for archival,
Yeah, so it's
To-
all
to be
preservation.
matched by 5 from the anonymous donor.
Okay. Which is good. And it's always good to get gift money, and the town has been supportive.
The town has
now.
been supportive of it, but we still find ourselves going for a petition article because we find this is the only way we can encumber this money. If we get it as part of the budget, we have to spend it every year, and that's gonna get harder and harder as time goes on, because we've got some fairly big projects down there. And
So we want to see folks out at the town meeting. And be supportive again. All right, any other business?
Yes, Sarah Wormill sent me a heads up on this grant opportunity to preserve veterans' history. They're now accepting applications. Secretary of the Commonwealth, William F. Galvin, and the Massachusetts State Historical Records Advisory Board are pleased to announce that beginning September 19th, 2016, applications are being accepted for matching grants to preserve object sites, document collections that are significant to the history and experience of military veterans in the Commonwealth. It's a matching grant. They'll go up to $7,500 for a historical commission or one nonprofit institution, with 2 institutions applying, it'll go up to 10,000. I would like to get some kind of a memorial conceived and figure out where we want to put it. It's got to do with the 6 Dudley veterans who were incarcerated in Andersonville, Georgia. There are 760 something Massachusetts residents buried in Andersonville Cemetery. They died in the Georgia death camp. And Dudley has 6 of them who were incarcerated there. Not all of them died. Some lived and some died, but they were all part of a patriotic brotherhood of suffering, deprivation, starvation, and disease. And I think it's a real...
How much time do we have to respond to that?
We have until December 31st to submit an application to the state for a matching grant.
Do they have to see our money first?
Doesn't say so.
I mean, because we can ask, we can go looking for money, but
I was thinking a Mauser grant,
Yeah.
a matching Mauser grant.
But we wouldn't know on something like Mauser's until
April.
April.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's, you know how
I suppose I could try and call
yeah, you know how I enjoy this group.
them. Yeah.
You know, what the,
I can give Mass Historical a call. and
yeah, find out what the
find out
deal
what
is.
the
If
story
they,
is.
if they hold money and allow us the time to get our money in order, that's
Then
easier.
we've got a shot.
Yeah,
It's
because
feasible.
for us to generate, well, of course, we don't know what we're talking about anyway, so
Right,
we
I
don't
don't
know what the price would be.
You know, maybe,
It could be a small,
maybe your guy, the granite guy,
Mm.
come up with an estimate and decide whether we want a plaque or have it incised. And then, what do we want to do with it? There's no room downstairs for it.
No,
She's probably not a great spot anyway.
it should be
On the hill
where we
somewhere.
have other,
Is this something that could be put on the Founder's Court? Or is there not enough room for that? Or not appropriate for that?
yeah, I don't know.
Could it go in Corbin Cemetery?
Oh,
That's probably where they
we don't
would've been
even know where
buried if
some of
they
these
came
guys
back.
are buried.
We don't?
No, but that's probably where they would have been buried.
Yeah. Well, no, Village was
We had a
around,
couple of these fellows were nipmunks.
yeah, which is
If you want to play
another,
what if,
which is
they
another
wouldn't have- they
interesting,
wouldn't have been buried in Corbin Cemetery.
right. All right, so this is what, this is October. Well, need to give it a lot of checking out. Call Mass Historic and see if anybody can respond to you,
Yeah,
which is another issue. And find out how difficult it is, if they allow us to.
they funded 58 projects in the past 2 years.
All right. That was good.
Yeah, that was good.
Happened every day.
Are we on timers here?
Is somebody up in the hall?
All right. We're back, folks.
That
It's
was
just a
all part of
blackout.
the plan.
Oh, you can give it a shot.
Somebody should have crawled under the table.
We're all disappeared. Hello, where'd they go? Yeah, let's see if we can get some more info on how fast we'd have to move on it. And in the meantime, we can do some idea work so that we can come into the next meeting with what it would it look like, where would it be,
Yeah.
what makes sense to us, and then shop it around. The Mausers aren't the only source of income. I mean, there are other options, so.
Because we have to find out, we have to get a concept and then see how much it'll cost.
Yep, and I think you're right, you know, the Mercer Monument moving into town is really nice now and willing to work with us with stuff. And they've been a pleasure to do business with, so I'm sure they'd be delighted to help us out. And it needn't be an outrageous sum, because it's just getting the information somewhere that's in a place that people are gonna bump up against it. You know, that's the educational piece of it. You don't want it so far out of, you know, and the problem with the cemetery is not a lot of people rolling through there, you know, they're not gonna see this. You need to have it somewhere where it has some purchase.
You know, what about something as simple as an engraved tile on the floor of the town hall or something like that? So people have to
Step on it.
go, well, but they have to go by it.
Yeah, and you want to make sure that they're actually going to stop and read, stop and smell the roses, you know. But, all right, let's plan on coming back next month with, you'll do some digging up, and we'll put our little thinking caps on, and we'll see if we can, that would still give us enough time to put the
This isn't rocket science.
No.
This is,
yeah, but they're going to want to see some,
yeah, we have to get a proposal together,
Yeah.
an estimate.
yeah, okay. In the meantime, if you have an idea, email us, and we'll move to it.
You know, just get the granite guy to get a stone and engrave it and plot it somewhere up there
Yeah.
in the vicinity of the 1909 memorial.
I don't know. We need to not crowd out the place too much, because, you know, occasionally a cow has to go by and help on the raffles. Which they didn't have this year, but it's just as well it was raining. All right, any other business? I'm entertaining a motion to
Make a
adjourn.
motion to
I
adjourn.
second.
And seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We're out of